It started. You're all done.
No, I don't want to be on the internet.
No!
Bye.
This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
We're doomed.
You guys live on the internets.
You live on the internet.
It's actually the opposite of what he's told us.
He told us that he went to high school. I don't know if that qualifies as the internet.
No, he's told us before he gets on the internet to play games and then he leaves the internet.
Yeah. He said that he gets on the internet to do very specific things.
Very specific.
And that is why he doesn't ever watch our podcast. Because he's too busy with the porn.
No.
Hello, Internet! This is the monthly Player 4 Podcast live stream! A little constipated there. How are we doing tonight? I am Tristan, a.k.a. Charlotte, here on the Rooster Teeth website.
Are you really constipated?
No, it just kind of... Whatever. Shut up. Say your name.
It's not even a metaphor.
I'm Malachi, a.k.a. Tsukikiba.
Constipation is not a metaphor in this case, Tristan.
It could be.
Okay, yeah, I'm Joseph, a.k.a. J. Dunlap, and we're one Alex down.
Why are we one Alex down? Can we be 3 doors down instead?
Why? Is that a metaphor?
No, there are 3 doors missing from my house, so...
Oh, something happened. You moved, right?
I did move. I'm now in a new location with a bigger room. I have so much more space. I got my swivel chair, my office chair, so I can, fall asleep at my computer now, instead of on that awful folding chair that I had before, which was awful. I got a rug, and I got my whole setup done up again. I'm good. Got my corner and my 2 monitors, mini fridge. Yeah. So it's a little bit further from work. Not much. A few minutes longer drive, but all in all, it's pretty nice. Yep. I've been doing a lot of back and forth, helping out the landlords move odds and ends from the old place to the new place. Like I was helping him. We went back last week and grabbed the laundry, the washing machine and dryer, because that's a 2-man job. Those things were heavy. Well, the washing machine was heavy. The dryer was not heavy, interestingly. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting thing. It's a nice room. I've been doing a good job. I've got a much bigger bathroom now, too. And the shower has better heat retention without scalding me. So, all in all, good. I'm happy.
2 thumbsticks up.
2 thumbsticks way up.
Up what?
Up your live stream.
How's it going, Malachi?
Oh, not bad.
Did you
just fall over?
No.
Everything's great over here.
No, it's my neighbors
no, not
slamming the
anymore.
door.
Yeah, everything's going great. Oh, shit! Oh,
No,
I knocked the chair over, but it didn't work.
nothing much this season. Doing my usual gaming and stuff, and staying detached from the whole world.
Yeah. Detached from everything.
Everything.
As usual.
I don't
Detached
do social.
from retinas.
I don't watch our podcast ever because I'm too good for that.
Screw you, Malachi. I work hard. Joseph works
Okay.
even harder than I do to make this podcast a thing, and you can't even, dignify us with a view.
Nope.
Whatever.
One day you're going to see the Finding Dookie poster.
Oh my god.
Or no, the running
It's
Dookie.
been on Running Dookie. It's been on 2 episodes now, because when you brought it up again, I put it in that episode, too.
God. Well,
I just said Finding Dookie. Can that be another movie?
I mean, Finding
Like
Dory,
the sequel?
Finding Dookie. Oh, goodness. Grab the Finding Dory poster, put Malachi's face on Dory. It'll be great.
It's the sequel to
what?
Running Dookie.
It's a sequel,
my
yeah.
God.
First Running Dookie, then Finding Dookie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or could it be
And
that
we'll
should
go
be the
from
other way
there.
around? We find him and then he runs.
Saving Private Dookie.
Anyways, with my gaming stuff, I have been just playing the usual Warframe, Minecraft, and I picked up Final Fantasy XIV again for a little bit. They have a new expansion coming out for that, Stormblood, which will be out June 20th, if I'm not mistaken. So quite a few months before that releases. They're introducing 2 new jobs, and one of them's going to be Red Mage.
Yay.
Yay, you guys don't care, but I
Yeah.
do.
Oh. Final Fantasy XIV was not one that, even after they redid it, was not one that I cared very much for. I
Yeah.
went to almost max level with one job and just said, this just isn't
It's just
for
every
me.
style, yeah. For me, I'm doing it more of a casual thing now, so I like that I don't have any, like...
Oh, you're not
demands.
raiding 4 nights a week anymore?
Nope. I told you I'm not doing the commitment thing.
I see.
So I've been just, like, doing the gathering stuff and just leveling up crafts for fun. And just trying out the new dungeons.
I see. I like being a blacksmith when I play MMOs. I like making my own weapons and armor. You know, I think that's fun.
And then have your name on it.
A new expansion's actually going to be releasing for ESO soon.
Oh, nice. Is that to be free to play?
I mean, no, well, yes,
It's by
it
expansions.
is free to play. So you don't have to pay anything if you don't want to play it online, but you have to buy individually the content that you want to play through. So each of the stories is a DLC that you have to pay individually for to unlock.
Are you talking about...
Or
like,
you can do what I do, which is you pay for the subscription and you get all the DLC as part of your subscription.
No, is it individual little chunks, or is it like expansions, like a whole big chunk?
As far as I've seen, so this one that's coming up is the first expansion that I've seen, where it's almost being advertised as a whole new game, almost. Each of the DLCs was an internal story that was tacked on to the main storyline of the original ESO, which was the battle for Cyrodiil. And so this new one they're calling Morrowind, which is only extremely confusing because The Elder Scrolls 3 was called Morrowind, and it's supposedly telling... I actually don't know. I watched the trailer for it, and it was an interesting trailer, you know, absolutely of the quality that we've seen, but supposedly the description I read was it was supposed to be some, like, Daedric invasion or something coming from Morrowind, and it's supposed to be set, like, during or right after the battle for Cyrodiil. So,
Which was
you
the
know,
end of the Morrowind game.
no, because that's why all of this is just a little bit confusing if you're not, like, well versed in the Elder Scrolls lore and series. All of this that goes on in ESO takes place 2,000 years before any of the other games. So all of, like, Morrowind and Oblivion and Skyrim are all in the 3rd and 4th era, and this takes place in the 2nd era, which is way earlier. Like, the 3rd era was only 400 years long, I think, but the 2nd era was like 2,300 years long. It's all very... I want to say it's convoluted, but if you play the other games, they all have books, though you can actually know absolutely everything that happened during this time period. That's why I thought it was a good idea that they made this game, because they already know everything that should happen. The story's already been written for them.
Yeah, so they just have to give it a little bit of flavor.
Right. And give you some options, you know, to help bring the world to life. It shouldn't be that big a deal. And they've been doing, in my opinion, a decent job so far. I just am not entirely sure how this new expansion is going to work, or why it's just called Morrowind, since that's confusing. When you start off the storyline of ESO, if you start in the Ebonheart Pact, because there are 3 factions to choose from, I think there still are, but they did something recently where it doesn't matter what faction you choose, you can play with anybody in any area from any faction, because they wanted more movability. They wanted people to be able to play together. So there's still a faction war, but if you want to play with your friends and you happen to be in different factions, that's cool. If you start with the Ebonheart faction, you start in Morrowind. So, I mean, and a big swath of the map is available for each faction. It's just, I don't have all the details. I watched the trailer. The trailer was interesting. The trailer was really weird because the description said that it was some, you know, demonic attack that is going on in the next storyline. It's like, oh, demons attacking from Morrowind, you know, something like that, right? But then the things that you see in the video don't have anything to do with demons at all. The things you see attacking people were Dwemer artifacts, the robots that the Dwemer created. So it was like, I don't know if the video that the trailer they made was just completely unrelated, or if the tagline's just really poorly written.
Well, the tagline could also be in retrospect for people that don't know specifically those type of creatures that come from.
I mean, yeah, you could argue that they're just referring to the
as a
Dwemer.
general term.
Yeah, but yeah, could go into just about any Dwemer ruin all across Tamriel and fight these Dwemer robots.
Oh, so you already can fight them and see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really strange. Like, that's why I'm saying I'm a little bit confused. I'm intrigued to see what it's going to be about, to see what they're going to do with it. I especially want to see if they're going to try to charge me for it, because I know that's what they do with World of Warcraft, is that you pay a subscription fee to keep playing the game online, but you also have to buy each expansion like it's an individual game.
Well,
Now,
usually
this-
that's when they add huge map. Like, those are when they're adding huge chunks.
Well, right, but that's what this seems to be. Like, when I said that this seems to be an expansion, I mean that in the sense of a WoW expansion. That's what this... Like, they're adding a whole new story, a whole new set of missions or what have you.
But they
to
auto-charge you for that?
Well, I don't know. I highly doubt it. I think what's going to happen is that it's going to be one of those... You have you have a subscription, right? But you have to buy because this isn't really a DLC. Because I get DLC automatically as part of my subscription. I think if I want to go there, I have to choose to buy it, and it'll probably be as much as a game, if I had to guess. So right now, you can go to the store and you can buy ESO for the computer, for the Xbox, or for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's like $60, I think, like a normal game.
That's the
But
same
you can-
as... Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that then you can go home and play it online, and you don't have to pay anything to play it online. You can play for free.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you wanted any of the DLC, which are like any of the pets or any of that kind of crud that comes with it, if you wanted some of the stories, like the stories of Orsimer, how the orcs are setting up their capital city again, like that's a DLC. If you want to go play in the city of Cyrodiil, that's a DLC. So they've got like 5 or 6 of those DLC things, and I don't know the actual prices. I think they're probably like somewhere between $5 and $15 each.
Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV has the same thing, but they don't give the option to buy small chunks like ESO does. You have to pay to play. But they do tons of editions that are no cost to you. That you just get. It's like, oh hey, we're doing a little patch, and it's going to give you 2 dungeons and 2 or 4 more raids, or give you a whole chunk of stuff. The only time we have to pay is when there's a whole new map expansion, when they're adding a whole new area to the game, or new jobs to the game, is when
so
you have to pay.
Yeah, I don't know how what exactly this is going to add. It could add stuff beyond what I've stated. So it'll be a learning experience. I'll let you know when I know more about it. But it's an expansion. It's going to be called Morrowind.
Have you been even playing it very much lately?
Yeah, I pull it up about once a week.
You dabble?
Yeah, I dabble, see what's changed, play through. I've got a few secondary characters that are in different factions, so I can play through the different storylines. I play a little bit with them, but like my primary character is basically max regular level. There are veteran levels after that I don't know how that works.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how that works because I never did it, which is silly because I've been playing since the beta. So I'm one of the oldest players on the server, and I also have done the least.
What about you, Joseph? You're always busy with stuff all the time in your podcasting. Do you play any MMOs or massive multiplayer online stuff?
Not lately, but I have played many MMOs.
The
last time I played one seriously was actually just like 2 years ago when we started this podcast.
Really?
EVE Online.
Wait,
It was EVE Online, wasn't it?
No, well, I guess I did play EVE Online for a little bit that summer. That wasn't seriously, it was just like I was live streaming myself doing missions. But I was playing World of Warcraft with the Drunk Tanks right around when we started the podcast for a few months, and then it sort of went on halt after a few months. but we were having a good time. And since then, I've actually appreciated not being committed to an MMO just because it gives me more time to do stuff. You know, Malachi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been committed to an MMO to the point where I raid with people on any kind of regular basis. I never really liked that sort of thing. I just want to play things casually. So even on ESO, even when I was playing it heavily, I would just wander around, explore, and discover things on my own. I almost never grouped with other people. I think my most interactions would just be I'd be walking through an area and I'd see somebody of lower level struggling with something, and I'd stop and heal them. Keep them alive, or if it was really kicking their ass, go and trade a couple blows with the monster and then heal them, trying to let them beat it themselves.
I do recall that in the past year there was a little bit that Gina and our friend Megan and I picked a server on WoW where we were just playing free characters up to level 20. It was just a diversion for a little bit, and I do have WoW patched in case I want to come back to it. But currently, I'm just enjoying free time. I've been going to the game store every so often, playing Magic and learning some card games that they have that are like in boxes that you can play repeatedly, like deck builder games and things like that.
For Magic?
Role playing. There's a thing called a deck builder game. You could qualify it in the same category as a board game because each game plays out differently, but basically you have resources and you are buying up cards that are available to buy, and then you draw them later in the game and you play those to get better things. And so gradually you're shaping what you want your deck to do.
That's kind of a neat concept.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about a little bit over a week, and it's just a lot of fun. We finished our D&D game a little bit early this weekend because there weren't very many people, and then
Adventurers League.
There was Adventurers League, and when we were done with that a little bit early, we played some Dominion, which is a deck builder, and then yesterday we ended Star Wars 2 hours early because it was only 3 people, and they were about to infiltrate a stormtrooper base. So instead we played Dominion, and then we played Star Realms, which is another deck builder. Dominion is medieval themed and Star Realms is spaceships, but they have different mechanics to them. Guys, speaking of 2 years ago, in 4 days, Player 4 Podcast will be 2 years old if we count the date that we published our first episode.
Damn it. So we don't have a podcast on our birthday, really. This is it. This is our 2-year birthday podcast.
Yes, although we will be celebrating our 100th episode.
I guess that's a good one.
Yeah,
although
that's what we'll be doing.
But 104 is really the 2-year mark since we're a weekly.
Not even technically, because we have had some weeks where we weren't able to meet.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like 104 is when we've really done 104 weeks or 2 years of podcasting.
I get what you're saying, like business days.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's 2 years of business days for us.
Well, this is episode 98, since we weren't able to do one last week because of scheduling. So that means 2 episodes from now we're going to be celebrating 100, and Tristan will be celebrating 4 weeks after that. Only Tristan, though.
Yeah, I'll be celebrating even if you don't.
Okay.
Sitting there with a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah, crying into his ice cream.
I don't live near the ice cream shop anymore. Like, it used to be I could walk there from my place, I could stop there on my way to my place from work. Now it's in a totally different town.
I'm noticing a theme here, Tristan.
I'm crying in my ice cream?
No, when you lived in Austin, you would also walk over to Amy's.
Yes, because Amy's has awesome ice cream.
You like to walk to ice cream places, then you earn the ice cream.
I do, exactly.
And now you can't?
No, not unless I wanted to walk 15 miles or something. 10 miles.
I would walk
one way.
15 miles for ice cream.
15 miles on the Erie Canal.
And you'd walk 15 more?
Yeah, he would walk 15 more to get back home.
I could be the man who walked 30 miles to fall down at your door.
I suppose. Is that what you want to do?
Not really.
Great ice cream, cheesecake
Rude.
ice cream.
Okay. So I went and looked, because I didn't want to be super vague. I wanted to actually have some information, be a source of some information here. Because we like to talk about games, and so when we talk about games, we don't want to sound like we're just talking out our ass, right? We are talking out our ass, but we don't want people to know we're talking out our ass. Okay? So I went and looked up, got some information on this Morrowind thing. And So I think one of the reasons they chose to call it Morrowind again is because it's going to be set in exactly the same location as Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, even though it's set in a different time period with a different problem. The island of Vardenfell, which was the setting of Elder Scrolls III, but not accessible in ESO, is going to be where this expansion, I guess. They just call it Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind announcement. So it says in June, they're going to start the next chapter. They're going to return, they're referring to players who have played Elder Scrolls III, return to the iconic island of Vardenfell. They have added over 30 hours of adventure in a brand new location with a new class, new PvP, new trial, and so much more. You're going to be deciding the fate of Morrowind and helping their living god, Vivek, and from saving it from a deadly Daedric threat, and this will be set roughly 700 years before the events of Elder Scrolls III. It's a new chapter that is a great starting point for new players and for veterans to continue their story alike. So, that's a little bit more information. Starts in June. It's going to be on Vardenfell, which wasn't accessible in ESO, but was the setting of Elder Scrolls III, and they're adding a new class.
That's kind of funny that it's coming out at the same time Final Fantasy XIV's expansion is.
Well, that's usually how MMOs work. They try to release around the same time so that they can compete with each other.
Apparently.
So, I don't know. I don't know how Final Fantasy has been performing in general, and I especially don't know how it has been performing in comparison. I know that pretty much the standard that everybody holds the performance of MMOs to is World of Warcraft. I think that still has the largest player base of any MMO, but ESO hasn't died yet, so I assume that means it's still doing okay.
Yes, the latest expansion of World of Warcraft has been very popular with World of Warcraft players who want a reason to come back. That's what I hear, that it's actually really good. I don't know. I just know that my favorite class was tweaked to a way that I wasn't happy with it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have another friend who plays it. She seems okay with it.
My jam has always been Discipline Priest, which is based around like healing on the fly, absorbing damage, that sort of thing. Although they do have a secondary deal that they can heal with the damage they do, but they're subpar at damage, and they're not a damage class. But the way that they changed it was they actually took away some of my most powerful stuff.
Oh.
Well, not mine, but the class's most powerful stuff, and then based them around healing through damage. And so when I looked at it, I was like, well, either they're just going to be considered a subpar healing class, or they're going to be considered a subpar damage class. And it didn't appeal to me, although I might have to see how it plays out with the new expansion.
Lots of those.
So they're a subpar damage class, and their healing is based on damage, so they're going to be a subpar healing class.
I figured that either it's going to suck really bad or just be way too powerful. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any middle ground there.
Yeah.
I know that when I was leveling, when I hit the sweet spot and I got the right talent points unlocked and I had good gear, I was actually pretty decent up to a certain point. When I hit the first two expansions, I was actually able to out-heal any under-geared DPS in the group, or out-DPS any under-geared DPS in the group while healing without trying. But actually, once you hit level 80 and you leave the second expansion, move into the third, they actually tweaked the way that healing works for those levels, and after that, you actually have to be focused on healing because it's less forgiving. So I'm not sure how this new expansion changes that, and I don't think I really want to devote the time to finding out because I'm happy with the way that life is going right now, schedule-wise. I have the time to devote to the podcast, roleplay twice a week, play Magic, and also spend time with the family and play Mass Effect. So,
well, you're doing better than me. I roleplay twice a week, I do the podcast, and then I sleep. I don't sleep because I'm working and playing video games instead.
Yeah, I recall last week you were recovering from a sleep debt. Or was it the week before?
Oh, it's all the weeks.
All the weeks, ever.
Yeah.
I know we didn't get to play D&D one week because you were needing to sleep and we're like, Tristan, sleep, but did you? I don't know if you did.
I mean, that was the intention.
You didn't answer the question, Tristan.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How to spot an introvert.
Who are you?
Oh, I can't do the thing because I've got to do this other thing, but I'm not going to do it actually.
Nah.
Yeah, I've got to go home and wear pajamas. You ever do that, Malachi?
Do what?
Make up excuses so you don't have to socialize and then go home and play video games? You hesitated.
I have, but not often. Because usually when people give me an excuse to leave the house, I'll leave the house. Like if someone's like, "Oh, hey, Malik, we're going to do this," I'm like, "Gone. Let's go. Done." But usually my default mode is in the house, so I don't give excuses.
The house.
Yeah, I don't give excuses to stay in the house if someone gives me another option.
Well, this is a good podcast, but it's nothing compared to Dookie in the house.
Oh my god. I'm never gonna live this down, am I?
Nope. An older meme, sir, but it checks out.
Oh my god. It's terrible. You guys are all terrible.
Yep.
I can hear Tristan silently judging me. What is that sound?
My speakers are having a problem, so I was trying
I think you're playing Destiny again, or whatever it was you were playing last time.
No, that's the speaker test. I'll do it again.
Tristan's leveling up.
Yep, that's the level up noise. That's what that is. I'm leveling up my speakers. No, my computer fritzes now and then, and sometimes when it fritzes, it wakes me up in the middle of the night when it fritzes out because I get this horrible screechy scrambling static noise coming out of the speakers. And so now when my speakers are sitting here in silence doing nothing, now it sometimes just crackles, and I'm really upset about that because I used to do that, and it's because of the sound card on the motherboard. My old motherboard died. I got a new motherboard, and they didn't crackle when they weren't being used anymore, and I was so happy because the crackling was gone, and now it's back.
Wake me up inside.
Maybe the new place you're at is on sacred burial soil ground.
Yeah. I can't win.
I'm just going to keep interrupting you.
I can't win, and I'm ignoring you.
You're an attractive man, Tristan.
Whoa, where are we going with this?
Emotional roller coasters. That's where we're going with this. So,
God,
yeah.
Alex.
So we were talking about role-playing games, and games in general, right? So I have this idea that we need to play some deck-building games this summer at RTX.
We, as in you, me, and all of our friends?
You and me, yeah. That's what I meant. You and me and all our friends, so you and me.
Okay. That's all. It's you and me against the world, man.
No, they're really fun. I'm going to be getting Star Realms soon. It's a game where, with Star Realms, you buy the base game for $15, 16 something with tax, and that version is just enough cards for 2 people to play. And then if you buy it again, then you can increase the amount of players, and then there's expansions you can add. And so you just keep adding on as you have the money to do so. Whereas Dominion is there, you buy a box, it looks like a board game box, and that's just straight up the cost of a board game, $60.
Board games
And
cost
there's an
$60?
The ones that have lots and lots of stuff in them, like a ton of cards that are not easy to print, yes.
Oh, because I'm pretty sure that I could go to the store and pick up, Monopoly for...
Well, sure, you can pick up Monopoly. I'm talking about the newer games like Dominion are not cheap to get, but I would like to bring a few games this summer so we can play with our friends.
Hey. So now we just need to get some friends.
Did you know that there is a card game along the lines of Cards Against Humanity, but it's about memes?
I think that Cyanide and Happiness just released one, too.
Yeah, they had one that they released, I think, last year via Kickstarter, where you were constructing a comic strip.
Yeah,
and
because there are 3 panels.
There was a stack of cards for each panel, I believe, just the way that it looks, or maybe not. But I know that you were constructing a 3-panel cartoon.
Yep,
and that was fun. So I'd like to find something we could bring and you maybe have audience participation with at our panel.
We need zombie dice.
Yeah, stuff like that. Let's brainstorm, and everyone listening, let us know if there's something that you think would be fun to do. Because we are going to do a table read, but we could also do a game.
So much game.
Like strip poker.
Or not strip poker.
Oh, okay. That's a game too, right?
Not strip poker? Yeah, that's also
not
a
strip
game.
Poker.
Definitely, probably not strip poker.
So speaking of RTX,
Speaking of strip poker.
did you guys see the big... No, we're not speaking of strip poker.
I thought we were.
I thought you didn't want to.
I could come around.
But
But,
say that again?
no.
Come again? Yeah, so speaking of RTX, did you see the announcement that came out this past week?
No, maybe. I've been getting... My Guardian wire has been blowing up, so... I've been...
RTX London.
Oh, yes. That's why my... Yeah, okay. Yes, I did see that.
RTX London, and Stuart's already making plans to go to it, which is good because he wasn't able to... I don't think he's able to go this year to the one in Austin. So, yeah, he gets to go to one.
And RTX Australia just recently took place, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did.
Because one of our players attended it.
One of our players.
Cade, the wizard.
Oh, you mean in our D&D game?
In our D&D game.
Right. Did he bring Hoot Hoot?
As far as I know.
Okay.
I think that Hoot Hoot abandoned him halfway through the day and went looking for food.
He was not getting advantage.
No.
Yeah, so everyone who plays 5th edition is laughing. Everyone else is like, nerd.
Everybody else is like, what the hell are they talking about? I thought this was about video games.
You see, everyone, Hoot Hoot is a wizard familiar, owl, that gives advantage to a target. You're supposed to stop me, Tristan.
No, I'm not stopping you. I'm enjoying this.
And advantage means you get to re-roll, any attack roll, and you have to choose the second roll.
No, you roll 2 dice and you choose the higher.
Yeah. No, what is it? Choose the second roll. I play too many games, Tristan.
Okay, advantages roll 2 dice and choose the higher. Disadvantages roll 2 dice and choose the
So
lower.
advantage is a mulligan, but no, if mulligan is you have to choose the second roll.
Right.
And then advantage is a good mulligan. Oh, I play too many
whichever
games.
one's better.
I play 5th edition, I play Star Wars, I play Pathfinder, I play D&D 3.5, or I did, and so Brandon, who's the manager of the gaming store, is in both my games, and whenever someone asks a question like, how many points are there in the point buy system, we're like, oh my gosh, which game is this again?
I think 4 and 5 would use 27 as their standard point buy pool.
Yeah, and we wanted to say 25, but it wasn't, and then like 29 is DDO, and Pathfinder is 25. Star Wars is like 25.
4 and 5 is 27. That's all I know.
Yeah. So we kept saying 25, and someone's like, no, it's 27. We're like, yeah, it's 27 5th edition. I played too many games.
Too many. I just stick with whatever the latest edition of D&D is, and then I pick a couple White Wolf games and a Catalyst game, so I don't get them all confused. Because Catalyst is D6, White Wolf is D10, and then the latest edition of D&D is a D20.
There's actually a group of role players here in Brownwood that are going to start up a D10 RWBY campaign.
What? They designed a RWBY RPG game?
Yeah. One of the role players was asking me, if I wanted to do a RWBY campaign, what should I do? And I was like, just pick a catch-all game system and then just, make it up. Mm-hmm. And he decided on D10 because he liked the way it played out. But I mean, D10, D6 very similar. I told him, D20 is not going to suit his needs as much as just choosing one of the D10 or D6 systems.
Yeah.
And they're just sort of going to customize it together as a group and just sort of make it up on the fly. And he's already got, the auras or whatever?
Aura, yeah, semblance.
Yeah, the semblances, that's it. And he's working out that with all of them, and they're just sort of building their characters right now.
Aura would basically be their HP in that game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually how it works in the show, is aura is their HP. When they run out of aura, they die, or lose consciousness, or something. Nobody's ever run completely out.
Something terrible.
And then they have to go to the Salvation Army.
Nah, didn't work.
Yang it.
Shut up. God damn.
Seemed appropriate.
Yeah, I guess so. Start this show off with a yang.
No, we're pretty much close to the end, Tristan. I don't think you get to say that.
Go out with a yang.
There you go. That's it. We'll keep that one. I'll cut the other one.
Okay.
Well, there's no
I thought the whole
cutting.
point
This
of the
is
live stream was we didn't have to edit.
Right, yeah. You're assuming I edit the live stream.
I do not. I assume nothing.
You know what happens when you assume?
You might be wrong.
Exactly.
Ah!
Anything else, Malachi? Malachi?
This is going to be our shortest live stream ever.
Well, I mean, we
It's 'cause
covered some
we're-
topics.
It's because we're missing Alex.
Yeah.
I really was hoping Alex would be here because we both just finished watching RWBY. I thought we'd get a chance to discuss it.
That's right. Several people at the game store were like, "Oh, I've got to watch the finale of RWBY or whatever."
Yeah, it came out on Saturday. Now, of course, I guess it's okay that he's not here, so we can't talk about it because I know that it doesn't release on Crunchyroll until next week, and not everybody's a first member on RT, so they won't have seen it and won't be able to see it until this coming Saturday.
Also work out for the next podcast.
Yeah. So I guess that's a good thing. But I really still want to talk about it with Alex. Why does he have to be not here?
Yeah, I guess the reason he didn't tell us this time he wasn't showing up until the last second is because he sort of assumed we would know.
Yeah, because he told us 2 weeks ago and said, I'm missing for the next 2 weeks, but we forgot that after 1 week.
Yeah, we're bad at remembering, and he assumed incorrectly that we would remember.
Yeah, he should not. He should know better than to do that.
Yeah, you should know better, Alex. He actually watches, so I shouldn't do that.
You should do it. Alex.
Alex. Bye, Alex.
We love you, Alex.
No.
No.
I like you.
We goodbye you, Alex. So, yeah. I guess that's it for this live stream.
That sucks.
I guess.
I wanted more Alex. How come we didn't have a guest? I blame Bree.
Yeah, they all picked up.
I tried to get her on here, but she's like, I have to make dinner. I'm like,
She's not.
Tell her
making
she doesn't
dinner
have to cook for us.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried. She would not be convinced.
Yeah,
Okay.
She's not making dinner for us. It's not important. She needs to get on here.
That's not what I was just making a joke that maybe she was like, "Oh, but if I'm on the podcast, I have to cook the supper for everyone."
What is love? What is podcast?
Tristan, don't hurt me.
I'll hurt you some more. Like that time I was trying to kill Alex and I killed Malachi instead.
Yeah, you leave me no choice. You leave me no choice. It is time to end this podcast. I was going to say Lind.
All right,
I don't know. I don't know why you were trying to say that. Anyway, yes, it's true. We've drug it out. We've drug it out.
All right. Good
Bye,
night,
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Good luck and good night.
I don't social medias.
How does social media?
I don't even Facebook. I don't do anything. I don't even write a journal on Rooster Teeth.